Welcome back to episode 2 of the Lower Calorie series. Today, we're covering fried rice, an absolute gem of a dish. First, we'll make the restaurant-style version to establish a baseline of calories, and more importantly, understand the underlying techniques of how it's made. Then we'll analyze where we can make lower calorie substitutions while maintaining the highest level of taste adherence to the original version. Hey everyone, I'm Ethan, a home cooking nerd who likes to find better ways to cook and share them with all of you. And welcome to all the new people to the channel over the past week. The support has been absolutely ridiculous, to say the least. You all are making a dream come true literally in front of my eyes, so I truly do appreciate it. But let's hop into the video. We're doing fried rice today, and basically for the restaurant style version, I combined the recipe from the professional chef with techniques learned from Chinese cooking demystified. So if you guys want to deep dive into Chinese cooking and techniques, go check out the channel. But without further ado, let's make some fried rice. So here's what fried rice may look like in a restaurant. First, rice is cooked at a dry ratio. In this case, Chinese cooking demystified uses 1.2 parts rice to 1 part water for optimum fried rice texture. The starches are washed, then the rice is cooked and set on a plate to allow the steam to escape to limit moisture. Next, it is important to cut the vegetables and proteins to roughly a uniform shape. In this case, small cubes for the chicken thighs and a mince for the onions and garlic, as well as a small dice for the carrots, mushrooms, and peas. The chicken is marinated by adding salt, sugar, soy sauce, and oil and mixing that together. At the stove, a wok is brought to high heat. Then the heat is turned off and swirled with oil in the pan. This is known as long yao, a technique used to season the pan and keep the food from sticking in stir fries. Generally, it is done each time before frying the protein, before the vegetables, and the rice. First, the marinated chicken is fried until just cooked through, then it is removed and set aside. Long yao again, then the garlic is added until just aromatic, then it is followed by the carrots and the onion until they are lightly brown, and then lastly, the lighter mushrooms are tossed in as well. Then all the vegetables are removed. One last long yao. This time, beaten egg is added right to the oil until the curds just start to set, and then you add in the cooked rice. This rice is tossed around and pushed down for 2 to 3 minutes, where it should become drier without clumping together by quite literally frying the rice. The rice is then seasoned with sugar, soy sauce, and a little bit of MSG or chicken bouillon. The cooked chicken, cooked vegetables, and peas are added back to the rice, then everything is brought back up to heat, then shut off and sliced green onions are added. As always, make sure you taste and adjust salt or soy sauce as you see fit. And this is a delicious bowl of fried rice. Even pieces of texture, a glossy exterior from the oil, and a fresh bite from the green onion. Let's take a look at that calorie breakdown. So this recipe makes 2 pretty hefty servings for how I eat, because I only eat mainly 2 meals a day, but this could easily be 3 smaller portions. For the calorie breakdown though, I'm assuming 2 servings. This brings a big bowl of the restaurant style fried rice to 1,021 calories, 117 grams of carbs, 45 grams of fat, and 40 grams of protein. As always for this series, the calorie breakdown tables are linked in the recipe on my website. If you would like to check them out, you can do so, but let's hop into the substitutions. In my lower calorie version, I came up with 3 main areas for substitution. First is make rice with more water, aka mushy rice. So these 2 plates are both 400 grams of cooked rice, but one has 853 calories and one has 533 calories. How is that possible? Well, I just changed the ratio of rice to water. For the restaurant style version, it was 240 grams of dried rice cooked with 200 grams of water, and for the lower cal version, I used 150 grams of dried rice and 280 grams of water, about 1 part rice to 1.85 parts water. So even though it is less rice, it's the same weight once it is cooked without adding calories because it's just water. That begs the question, how does using wet and mushy rice affect the final product? Using mushier rice definitely turns the texture of fried rice to lumpy and a little bit sticky compared to the drier, unclumpy, and glossy ones when you use dry rice. Here's Chris from Chinese Cooking Demystified talking a little bit about this.
Now, I should note here that I personally totally screwed up and forgot to cook this rice here at a dry ratio. So all of these rice dishes that we did today are going to be a touch stickier than what you'd usually want. So just check out the Yangzhou fried rice video for what the ideal rice texture should look like.
So texturally, it may not be ideal, but that's cutting 320 calories out while maintaining the same weight of total fried rice. And hey, some of you may like the lumpy, sticky version. Taste and texture are ultimately subjective. The next substitution is to use cooking spray instead of oil for the long yao. You see, cooking spray has 0 calories as long as you spray less than a third of a second, so it will always be 0 calories, no matter how many times you spray. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, in reality, Pam says a 1 second spray has about 8 calories, so that's the assumption that I'll be working with. By replacing a 1 second spray with 20 milliliters of peanut oil, it's 150 fewer calories each time. What do we lose though by not doing the long yao with plenty of oil? Well, the texture won't be as glossy or unctuous, and the food may stick in your wok while stir frying. I'm also sure Chris and Steph would be pretty disappointed, but I did make sure to keep in one of the 3 stages to perform a long yao with oil, and it's right before frying the rice because I think it's critical to actually fry the rice if we were going to call this fried rice. Though if you do want even lower calories, just use the spray all 3 times. The last substitution is use shrimp with a dry marinade instead of chicken with a wet marinade. 6 ounces of shrimp is just 120 calories compared to 275 calories for 6 ounces of boneless, skinless chicken thighs. And also, by using a dry marinade of 2 grams of salt and 2 grams of cornstarch instead of soy sauce and oil, this is another 40 fewer calories. And since we already have wet rice with this lower calorie one, using a dry marinade helps us impart less moisture into the fried rice. So in this case, it's kind of a win-win. Alright, let's do the step-by-step process. I'll show them side by side with the calorie breakdown, and then we'll do the taste test. To start, prep the rice by pouring 150 grams of rice into a metal strainer and washing off the starches under the sink. Ensure most of the water drains off so we don't make our rice mushier than it already is. At the stove, add the rice and 280 grams of water to the pot, and then set the heat on medium and cover it. Bring this to a boil, and after about 20 seconds of boiling, turn the heat off, take the lid off, and place a kitchen towel over the top with the lid back on. Set a timer for 15 minutes and let the rice steam off the heat. Echo, set a timer for 15 minutes. Once the rice is done, spread it out on a plate so the steam escapes, again helping to minimize as much moisture as possible. While the rice is steaming, chop the deveined shrimp into small cubes and place it into a bowl. Then add 2 grams of salt and 2 grams of cornstarch for the dry marinade, mix that and set it aside. For the vegetables, mince the garlic cloves, small dice the onion, carrots, and mushrooms, and weigh out the desired amount on a plate. Then you're going to slice up 1 green onion and beat 2 eggs in a bowl. Then for the actual rice seasoning, add 4 grams of sugar, 5 grams of soy sauce, and 2 grams of MSG to a bowl. Now gather every single ingredient on a baking sheet, so you're basically an organized badass ready to show this fried rice who's boss, but it's also a good chance to check the fridge for any last minute vegetable additions or if you are missing something. Alright, let's go to the stove. Set the wok over high heat. Then using a solid 1 second spray, just coat the wok in the inside. Then you're going to add your shrimp and stir fry it for about 45 to 60 seconds until it is just cooked through, then you can remove it and set it aside. Do another solid spray, then you can add in the garlic, and you're going to saute for just 10 seconds until it's aromatic, being careful not to burn it, then add in the onions and carrots. You're going to stir fry for another 60 or so seconds until they are starting to brown, then you can toss in the chopped mushrooms for another about 30 to 60 seconds. Remove the vegetables and set them aside, and now it's time for our long yao. Bring the heat up to high, turn off the heat, pour in 20 grams of peanut oil and swirl it around the wok. Now slowly pour in the beaten egg and cook it until the curds just start to set. Slide the egg up the side of the wok and now pour in the rice. You want to break up the clumps and stir it constantly for a good 2 to 3 minutes so we can fry up that rice and get it a little bit crispy. Add in the seasoning of soy sauce, sugar, and MSG to the rice and egg. Then we're going to add the shrimp, cooked vegetables, and peas to the rice and cook everything for another 15 to 20 seconds to bring it up to temperature. Finally, you can turn off the heat and add in the sliced green onions. One final mix and we can serve and enjoy, my friends. And also, don't forget to taste the fried rice. It may need a little bit more salt, a little bit more sugar, or some soy sauce, or you can add some more MSG in there if you would like. So make sure you taste it before you actually serve it to adjust that to your taste preferences. Now let's do that calorie breakdown. Like I said earlier, I'm assuming 2 large servings of fried rice. So for the low-cal version, it is 585 calories, 80 grams of carbs, 17 grams fat, and 27 grams of protein. So pretty solid. And here's a side-by-side view compared to the restaurant style version, and then let's give these guys a taste test. Taste test time, best time of the video. So we have the low-cal version with the shrimp and stuff on the right. Then we have the higher cal version with the chicken thighs, the extra oil and things on the left. So let's keep it short and simple, give these a taste. I do love me some fried rice. Oh my gosh. All right, now the low-cal version. All right, so very interesting on what's going on here. So taste-wise, very similar taste profiles. I mean, because we didn't really change much out of that. We used MSG, we used soy sauce, we used salt, we used sugar. We didn't really change much, but it's the texture that really makes a big difference. And it's really due to that dry rice that we used in this one and the extra oil. So this is kind of unctuous, and the rice kernels have a little bit of a bite to them, which is really kind of what you're after in like a traditional fried rice. On the other hand, this one it's much moister because of that rice. It just kind of, it's a little sticky, kind of clumpy, but I've never actually tried 2 fried rices like this side by side. I mean, not that really, I guess many people would unless they're trying to experiment themselves. But I know that this is how I used to make fried rice before I started to kind of venture over into dry rice ratios, but I didn't realize how much of a big difference that it actually makes. And it's not to say that this is bad in any means, because it's not. Like, I would crush this and I'm going to crush it, but it's just a completely different texture. And some of you actually may like this better, but if you've never tried using dry rice and a good bit of oil in your fried rice, definitely give this restaurant style a shot. And I mean, it's really quite astonishing just how big of a difference there are. That being said though, this one is, I think it's 585 calories. I know I put it in the video, but I forget what I have. So it's almost half the calories of this one, which is pretty astonishing because I'm telling you, they taste great, both of them. The main differences are really just the texture. So you could kind of find some middle ground between the two, maybe use a little bit more water than the 1.2 parts, and maybe like halfway in between, and that's your happy medium. So you cut a little bit of calories, but you still get a drier rice overall. But with all that being said, both absolutely delicious recipes, and really knowing how to cook a good fried rice is a valuable skill, because it's such an easy way to use up random leftover vegetables or like meats in the fridge and just throw it all together with some rice or some soy sauce and stuff. I like mine with sriracha, so I'm gonna put some sriracha on mine. Anyway, hopefully you guys are enjoying the series. I know I'm having a lot of fun making it and really trying to analyze these recipes and see where we can cut down calories where we want to, while still making a very delicious and making it really as close as possible to that original version. And drop some comments down below on dishes that you want to see me cover next. That's gonna wrap it up for this one. I will catch you in the next one. Peace.